Hi YouTube. I was tagged by Rob from Rob's Bushcraft to do a video entitled Bushcraft, what does it mean to you? And it's actually quite a complicated question, really, I think. So if you'll indulge me, I'm going to go back in time, give you a little bit of history about me and my entry into this little world of bushcraft. Growing up, I grew up in South London, not the greenest part of the world, but you know, I had access to many clubs, the most important being the Air Training Corps. I joined that, I was just shy of 13 years old. My brother was already in it. He's 4 years older than me, so he was 4 years in front of me at Air Training Corps. And I have to say, between him and a friend of ours, Rich, who was one of my officers, because it is a military thing, you have to march and wear a uniform and all that jazz. But between those two, they gave me my foundation, if you like, of how to be comfortable outdoors. They taught me how to navigate properly, and by navigation I mean they would drop you off in the middle of nowhere in the pitch black dark, like here for instance. They would drop you here and then they go on a bearing, this bearing over there, get there. And it was a real learning curve. Initially I got quite stroppy with them, because it was like, what is going on here, you know? But it really makes you focus, and that was why they did it. You know, there is no escape from that. You know, we can all go out in a nice country setting with a state-of-the-art compass and a map, and yeah, do that. But they took it that one step further. Yeah, it's a good way of learning. And not just that, it was everything. It was everything to do with being outdoors. So you know, they taught us how to put a tent up properly, a basic shelter, cook, nutrition. Because you'll be surprised, well, you probably wouldn't be shocked to realise that, you know, when as a 13-year-old kid going for the first time camping out in the woods, where you're told there's your tree, sleep under it with a basher. Most kids favoured like pot noodle and those horrible ready-made rubbish food. Yeah, and you wouldn't give it any second thought, but they sort of steered us away from that. Not me so much, but certainly people I was with. Yeah, and taught us how to do everything, how to pack a rucksack properly. You know, everything, basic first aid. It all was encompassed in this thing, and it was a great way of learning. I really did enjoy it, and yeah, it was a huge part of my life growing up. It really was. And I'll be indebted to those two forever, because they really gave me a love of being outdoors. Towards the end of that, and also into my sort of 20s, I was quite heavily into rock climbing, mountain walking, that kind of the side of the outdoor life. But as I got older, I kind of, I lost my way a little bit. I got a bit fatter and slower and older, and the climbing fell by the wayside a little bit. It's just one of those things. I don't have any regrets, to be honest. It was a fun part of my life, but my life's moved on to different things now. You know, now I'm an avid canoeist, and I live in Sweden, not South London anymore. This is my back garden, if you like. as far as the eye can see. This is forests, lakes, just absolutely stunning part of the world. So for me, what is bushcraft? What does it mean? Well, for me, bushcraft is being comfortable in the environment that I'm in. I don't do adversity very well. I do not like being uncomfortable. I don't like being cold. I don't particularly like being hot. I like to be comfortable. So for me, bushcraft is how to be comfortable. That's what it means to me, being comfortable in the surroundings, in any weather. You know, since I've been here in Sweden, I tested myself in every environment. So if it's minus 35, then I will be outdoors in the snow. If it's boiling hot, like it feels like it is today, it's really warm today, then I'll come out and I'll be in this environment. And it's learning what's available at each time of the year. You know, where I live here in northern farmland, it's taiga forest or boreal forest. The further you move south, certainly in Scandinavia, you start getting more like the UK, deciduous forests. But here there's, short of my garden where there's one oak tree, I think on the whole it's deciduous. It's coniferous. So it's pine and fir and spruce, and obviously there's birch, which are deciduous. But yeah, I mean, you only have to look behind me to see the level of green, and that is basically all from the pine family. So I have an appreciation of what I have and where I am, and that extends to knowing what I can use, when I can use it, what's available, and that's my aim with bushcraft. On my trips, I don't really worry too much about bushcraft. It's not, for me, it isn't really about that. My trips, like with Rob, for instance, when we go canoeing, I want to enjoy the trip, and for me personally, I know Rob loves the bushcraft side of stuff, and he'll pick mushrooms and cook them and eat them and blah, blah, blah. Rob tends to build the shelters. I help. On the whole, Rob will do that. Because that's what he loves to do. For me, it's more about just being out in the environment and with someone that you love being with. I mean, he's a great guy, and I've learned a lot from him as well. You know, he teaches me every time we meet up. He's got something new to show me, or new idea, and that's why I love this community of bushcraft, if you like, because it encompasses so many different types of people with so many different types of thoughts and passions, and that's what I love. And I have a quote here. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I found it yesterday, and it kind of summed up bushcraft to me. And believe it or not, it's from an American president. And no, it's not that one. From Jimmy Carter, and he says, like music and art, love of nature is a common language that can transcend political and social boundaries. And to me, that is bushcraft in a nutshell. So there you go. I hope that answers that tag. And now tradition says I have to tag 3 more, which I will do. And I will tag David Fryers. I know he's a busy guy, but I'm hoping he'll watch this. So David Fryers, I love watching his videos. He's always carving and doing stuff in his campsite with the parachute canopy, and he's like me, he loves Phil Evan, so gets my vote. So yeah, David Fryers, I'll stick your name up here, and I'll put your links into their website if I can work out how to do that underneath. The second one will be Steve from So Steve, Once again, different end of the scale. You know, we all have different views on what bushcraft is. He has new ideas. Like me, he has a quadcopter drone. So that's another link there that we all share. So yeah, so Steve, I'll put you up here and down below if I can remember. And the final one, well, the final one's going to be controversial because he never does what I ask him to do. But I'm going to try again anyway, and that's Mike Morton. Used to be on YouTube a fair bit, but then he kind of went the other way to Instagram. But I know he is into his bushcrafting and his canoeing and all that, and he's always commenting on my videos, so I'm hoping he's watching this one. So yeah, Mike Morton, do a video, man. 5 minutes, and yeah, I hope that answers it. I think it does. There you go, job done. So be careful, be safe, enjoy the outdoors, and I'll see you very soon. Try.